Hello and greeting. My name is Muhammad Irshad Imaduddin bin Iskandar and I am going to present about the process of water treatment. So there are 6 processes of water treatment including pre-treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment, disinfection, advanced treatment and final treatment. So there are 6 steps in pre-treatment processes. First, pumping. In this step, the water source will be pumped into holding tanks. After that, the water will be undergoing screening step, which is to filter out the water from the big floating object such as fish, trash and many more. Next, the water will be stored in bank-side reservoir for a few days or some few months so that natural biological purification can be done. Next, the water will be undergo the preconditioning step, which this step is allowed to precipitate calcium carbonate out from the water by treat it with soda ash. The water then will be let settling or sedimentation to allow the suspended solid to go bottom of the tank so that the clearer water can be taken for the next process. Last in pretreatment water will be pH adjustment, where the water is treated with lime or soda ash. It is important to make sure the water is slightly alkaline to make sure the next process can be done or can be operated properly. So moving on to the next process, which is the primary treatment. In primary treatment, there are 4 important steps. First, coagulation. In coagulation, it is to neutralize the charged colloidal particles. In other meanings, to remove the charge of particles which usually negatively charged that repel each other. By using metal coagulation, like example these aluminum ions, attract the negative charge of particle, making it reduce the net charge and reduce the repulsive force. So the particle upon colliding will stick to each other. So after that, flocculation. In this step, the floc that form earlier in coagulation step will be steering gently so that the floc particle to coalesce or grow bigger, it resulting to form a separable species that we call as flocculation. And then in sedimentation step, the floc removal will be using gravity force. It designed to minimize the turbulence and allow the particles settle down to the bottoms. So that in filtration, the water is filtered to remove the remaining suspended particles and unsettle floc. There are 2 types of sand filter that used in this filtration, which is the first one is rapid sand filter that is commonly used that made from crushed coal and sand. Second type is known as slow sand filter, which apply where there is a sufficient land and space. Moving on to the third process of water treatment that known as secondary treatment, where the water will be mixed with highly oxygenated water or the water will be aerated directly. Later I will explain what is aerated. In this process, usually this is a biological process that designed to promote growth of microorganisms. Why? It is because bacteria and microorganisms can help to degrade the organic materials in the water. So proceed to the fourth process of water treatment, which is disinfection. In this process, there will be 2 steps, which are chlorination and disinfectant by-product. In chlorination, water will be introduced with chlorine gas to kill the pathogenic microorganism presence. Chlorine widely used due to its effectiveness and efficiency. This will be the chemical reaction that happen during the process. So it is important to control the hypochlorous acid ratio is higher than hypochlorite because hypochlorite is not good for disinfectant compared to hypochlorous acid. To work in optimum ways, pH must be controlled high ratio of hypochlorous to hypochlorite. The exit amount of chlorine is used to perform the disinfection and eliminate potential health hazard. The next step is to eliminate the byproduct that form when chlorine-based disinfectant, which is naturally occur. Both of these byproducts they produce are highly carcinogenic. So in order to lower the production of these two byproducts, it is important to remove any organic from the water with effectively prior to chlorine addition. So these are the other way of disinfection water treatment, which is including using chlorine dioxide, chloroamine, ozone, and UV treatment. So moving on to the next step, which is the advanced treatment. So there are three categories, which are adsorption, aeration, and membrane process. In adsorption, activated carbon is most widely used as adsorbent. It is useful due its large micropore and mesopore volume that resulting high surface area that is useful to trap the organic compound in the water. The PSC, which is powdered activated carbon, that being used will be removed by filtration, taking together with the unwanted organic compound with it. So PSC basically used to correct the taste and the odor problem of the water. Next category is aeration, where the water is vigorously mixing for increasing the oxygen content of the water. With increase of the oxygen, the volatile substance that affect the taste and the odor of the water, such as hydrogen sulfide, can be removed. This aeration step also can dissolve minerals such as iron and manganese that can bring health problem to human too. The precipitate that form during this step can be removed by sedimentation and filtration. The third category is membrane process. This is a technique that permits concentration and separation without use of the heat. Particles are separated by molecular size and shape with the use of pressure and specially designed semi-permeable membrane. When a solution and water are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the water will move into the solution to the equilibrium system that known as osmotic pressure. Membrane process is good because it can filter much smaller particles that paper and sand filter can. The membrane can be cleaned and reused, which can save more budget. So there are four types of membrane process, including reverse osmosis, nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, and microfiltration. Last but not least, final treatment, which including fluoridation and distribution. In fluoridation, adding fluoride compound to water is to reduce tooth decay in general population. However, there is a claim that water fluoridation brings dental fluorosis, as you see. In order to avoid this problem, level of fluoride need to be observed to not exceed its recommended content. Based with drinking water quality standard for Malaysia, it is advisable to keep it in between 0.4 to 0.6 milligram per liter. And the last step would be distribution. Chemicals from water treatment and distribution reach drinking water by the most direct route. They fall to three broad categories, which are first, substance resulting from the addition of chemical used in treatment process for coagulation and disinfection. These chemicals are intentionally added and give rise to residues. The second, disinfectant that are deliberately added with the intention of maintaining a residual in distribution, usually to the tap. And the third one is substance that leach from material used in distribution or plumbing, or that arise from the corrosion product of pipe. So that's all the overall of the process in water treatment. Hope you get the input and understand with what I have been shared in this video. So that's all from me. Thank you.